Hello everyone, my name is Neal. At this point we've been traveling about 1 month with the Peace Boat, so it's about 1/3 of the journey over. And if you've seen the previous episode, you saw we just came from Cape Town in South Africa. And oh my, this was such a stunning coastline, and the rocks and the oceans were so beautiful. But now we're arriving in Namibia, and Namibia completely different, very special in its own way. You have a desert there which is just so stunning. It's very satisfying to see the sand, and you can see really far as well. So in this episode we're going to go into Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, and I'll definitely show you a lot of the dunes, so let's go explore. From Cape Town, we sailed north, along the African coast, arriving at Walvis Bay, Namibia's second largest city and our gateway into one of the most extreme, otherworldly landscapes of this trip. Namibia is a country of extremes, 800,000 square kilometers of space, just 3 million people. That makes it the second least densely populated country on Earth, after Mongolia. You feel that emptiness the moment you step off the boat. The economy runs on 4 pillars: mining, fishing, agriculture, and tourism. But what struck me the most wasn't the economy, it was the landscape. Desert as far as you can see in every direction, dry, rocky, barren, and just completely mesmerizing. Swakopmund was founded in 1892 by German colonizers, and that history is everywhere, in the architecture, the street names, and the buildings. German missionaries first arrived in the 1840s, and by 1884 Namibia had become an official German colony, remaining so until 1915. But that history carries a very dark chapter. Between 1904 and 1908, following uprisings by the native Herero and Nama people against colonial rule, Germany carried out mass killings. It is considered the first genocide of the 20th century. Germany officially recognized it as a genocide in 2016. In 2021, they agreed to pay just over €1 billion over 3 decades, framed as development aid rather than legally binding reparations. Namibian leaders have called it insufficient. Namibia gained full independence in 1990 from South Africa, who governed it after the Germans were defeated in World War I. The landscape around Walvis Bay, in the Namib Desert, is called the Moon Valley, and once you see it, you understand why. Rocky, sandy, dusty, completely barren. It looks less like Earth and more like a film set. Which, actually, it kind of is, because parts of the film Dune were shot right here in Namibia, and seeing it in person, that makes complete sense. In the desert sand, you'll find one of the strangest plants on Earth, the Welwitschia mirabilis. It's called a living fossil, and for good reason. These plants can live between 1,000 and 2,000 years. And in that entire lifespan, they only ever grow 2 permanent leaves. The desert winds tear and split them over the centuries until they fan out across the ground in ribbons. They survive by absorbing moisture from coastal fog. You can tell males from females by the shape of their cones when they're ready to reproduce.
They have the ability to close off their stomata when it's hot like this. When it's cooler, they open up their stomata. So night and morning time, the stomata open. When it's sunny like this, the stomata close. Stomata are small little pores. Like on the leaves here, small little pores. Okay, why did I leave out?
When is the flowers season?
The flower season, it depends. These cones are, it's not flowers, it's cones. That's why they are characteristics of conifers, like pine trees. So these cone trees can grow big. They have the seeds This is a female Welwitschia plant. You get the male and you get the female. The male has different kind of cones.
We also visited the Gawani Contes Oasis, a patch of unexpected green right in the heart of the moonscape. There's a restaurant there and more vegetation that you think possible. Also animals are wandering around. Turkeys, goats, pigs, llamas and alpacas, and also some very entertaining signs. And then there are the dunes. The color of a dune actually tells you its age. Iron oxidation in the sand causes older dunes to shift from pale yellow towards deep orange and red. The older the dune, the richer the color. We got to explore Dune 7, 388 meters high. I decided to run up it, and that was optimistic. Every step you sink into the sand. It drains energy in a way flat ground never does. By the top, I was completely out of breath, but the view up there was worth every struggling step. Climbing that dune made me think about the fact that I'm happy I'm doing this trip now, while still physically capable. I could notice the difference between myself and some of the other travelers on the boat who couldn't make it up in the short time we had. It was just a reminder for myself why now matters. Don't wait too long before doing what you want, because you might not be able to do it anymore. I met some other travelers at the dunes. They were also going around the world, but by a small sailing boat. And they were already 3 years into their journey. They took a photo of me at the top and kindly shared it. So you can see that tiny figure standing on the dune ridge over there. That's me. The dunes are just visually stunning. The smooth curves, the sharp shadow lines, the way the wind sculpts the surface. It's the kind of scenery that makes you stop just to admire and be in awe of our planet. So, that was Namibia. I hoped that, just as me, you really enjoyed seeing those dunes, the landscapes, and I mean especially standing on top of Dune 7 and overlooking the landscape there was just so stunning. And also the moon landscape and seeing that plant, that fossil plant, it's just crazy that it can get so old. But we can't stay in Namibia forever, so the journey continues. And now we're going to cross the Atlantic Ocean all the way to South America. And of course that takes a while, so we're actually 9 days on the boat. So in the next episode I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that we did on the ship, with the highlight being Sports Day, a very traditional Japanese activity that they do in schools. And of course we're also going to arrive in Brazil, in the city of Rio. So hope to see you there. Keep letting your curiosity lead. Take care.